Hello, hello, hello. It's Anne Lewis, a Stampin' Up demonstrator based on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. I teach card making and scrapbooking and love sharing my passion with you. Thanks so much for joining me today. In this step-by-step video, I will be sharing some of my favourite techniques, tips and tricks to make your card making even more fun. The products that I'm showing tonight are actually sneak peeks from the new 2024-2025 Stampin' Up Annual Catalogue, which is only released on the 1st of May. So you can't buy these products yet, but you can add them to your wish list. What makes these projects even better is that you can use cardstock, pattern paper, stamp sets and inks from your stash. You don't necessarily even need to use new products. Mind you, I did get a little excited about heading into and playing with new products. Again, I will be doing a random draw, so someone who leaves a comment will receive a card from me in the mail. More comments, more chances. Let me know where you're watching from and what you are enjoying. Now I'll just say hello from here. Hi Glenda, how are you? Good to see you. It's been a really busy week. It's been, for those that follow me, you'll know that it's been my birthday, so I've had visitors and I'm kind of celebrating for the entire week, so it's pretty exciting. It's been a good week. But you can't kind of do all the social stuff and also the crafting. So the crafting has kind of fallen a little bit up behind, but I will catch up in the next couple of days. Now, I'll show you the project that we're making in a couple of secs, but there is some updates that I do want to do. The last chance sale starts on the 9th of April. And it is full. I'll just pull out. Oh, I hope I can pull it out without dropping everything. So this is the last chance sale, and I know last time we had a little bit of trouble seeing, but all those green highlighted products are discounted, and the majority of them are actually about 50 to 60% off. So it's a great sale. Now, I've got to be honest, not all our Stampin' Up sales are as big discounts as this one is. And on my pages, I think there's 14 pages of discounts. So it's pretty exciting. Now, because it's my birthday month, I'm going to say, as well, I'm going to offer a special offer, and I'm going to offer that anybody who places an online order or an order with me, however you want to do it, and the hostess code is used, what I will do is I'm going to give or draw a name out, one of the names of somebody who places an order with me from the 9th of, I'm just got to think about this, the 9th of April when the sale starts to the 18th of April. So 9 days this special will go, and you will actually get the stamping rewards for that month. So it's pretty exciting. I shouldn't say for the month because I'm going to draw it because I actually go away at the end of April. So I want to get it all tidied up, get your order in and get it on its way to you as soon as possible. So it's exciting. I haven't had one of these mystery hosts before, so I actually look forward to it. Now, there's been a few that have drop by, so let's see who's here. And if you haven't, let me know where you're from, so I can acknowledge you. Hi, the two Glendas. I'm pretty sure I've got the two Glendas. Hi, Sharon. Yes, it is a birthday week, so there's a lot happening. And I see that I share a birthday with Glenda Lavender's daughter. So that's pretty exciting. And Glenda Small, my other Glenda, is watching from Coffs Harbour. She's never home, to be honest. She is a Brisbane, lives in Brisbane, but is always on the road travelling somewhere. Now, I'm going to put you back down onto my desk view. I'm just going to have to adjust it because I don't know, it shifts before I even look at it. Now, I've popped it up a little bit so it's a little closer to the camera. So when it's just sitting there like that. Now, I will show you a close-up because it's got a lot of detail. And it's a little hard sometimes to show the detail unless I put it close to the camera. However, I am showcasing, and already, oh no, I haven't. I am showcasing the Adventurous Sky stamp set, which is planes and clouds and some metal background stamping. Comes with dies, and you're going to see a few of the dies in action tonight. Love this bundle. Really, really love it. So it'll be available on the 9th of May. Oh, sorry, the 1st of May when the catalogue goes live. And I'm going to just show you very briefly a card where I've used the Loveliest tree. Now, for those that have been with Stampin' Up for a while, we used to have a stamp set called Lovely as a Tree, and Lovely as a Tree was one of our most popular ever. I think it lasted about 20 years. Now, most of even our most popular stamp sets only last for maybe 5 or 6. This one seemed to last forever, but we missed it. So they've brought back a different version of it, but it's very similar to Lovely as a Tree. I love it. And it's a great technique stamp set. Also, this is a sneak peek from the new catalogue. Now, if the new catalogue looks like, I've got kind of my partial order in here. So the new catalogue looks like this. Can't show you the inside. It's very gorgeous. I don't know whether you can see kind of the embossing on it. You can see it kind of shine. It is fabulous. It has been completely revamped. You're going to be blown away when you get yours in the mail if you placed an order with me in the last 12 months. So you automatically will have one sent to you if you've ordered in the last 12 months. Now, this box was only here to highlight that up. I will put this closer to the camera. And you can see there's a lot of texture on this. This is actually my stepped up version. I will show you the simple one after I show you this one. But there's a whole lot happening. So I've used an embossing folder, which you can see that texture. I've also used some blending just to add what I would call like a velvet effect. And I've die cut the plain which comes from the die bundle. And so I'm going to show you how to do this background. Now, the great thing about this background is you don't need anything special. You can actually do this with designer series paper. Simple as. But I've chosen to keep it as just cardstock so that you can pick your favorite cardstocks to actually make this card. So let's get started. So my card base is, as always, it's my standard card base, is 5.5 by 8 1/4. It's folded in half at the 4 1/8 inch, 4 1/8 inch score line. And so that's my card base. I can put that aside for the moment. And then I've got to make sure I use the right one here. I'm actually going to add a red layer this time. When I did this one, I just went, I want to see it pop a little more, that white layer, or the white and navy layer. So I've added a red layer, which is 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Now, this one I made as a landscape card, but I put it together in portrait, and you'll understand why. It's just a little easier. Then I've just spun it around, and I like being able to change up my cards from landscape to portrait or the reverse, because it gives you a lot more versatility, flexibility when you're making cards, that you're thinking out of the box. Because I know lots of people just keep it to portrait. I like to swap it around. So I can see, so this is how this is going to sit, like that, onto that navy card base. But we're just going to work with the white first. I'll put that out of the way because I've got these navy squares to cut. But before I cut the navy squares, there's a couple of things I want to do. I don't know how many squares I need. It's just I'm going to just kind of guess. But to get this texture, this velvety texture on it, and you'll see how I get it, I'm going to grab one of my small blending brushes. Now you could also use daubers easily for this. It would work just as well. Now, wait a minute, I'm going to put on the inches because you know I work more on the inches, and I'm going to do a training video on why I use inches rather than metric, and you'll understand it's a little easier to work with to keep it simple for everybody. So you can see I've got the big grid lines here. I'm going to be cutting this at 1 inch. So there's a couple of things I'm going to be doing. Well, actually, I might start over here. So I've got the edge lined up on 1 inch. Got it nice and square. I'm grabbing some white pigment ink. I meant to get my glass mat out, but we haven't got it. So you don't need a lot of ink. All I'm doing is running just a little bit of shading. To be honest, it doesn't have to be perfect. Right now, it doesn't even have to be close to perfect is probably the thing. So I've done one line. I'm sliding it back over to the 2 inches. And I see that Glenda likes this card. It's a simple card. There's nothing flash about it. I've just added because I wanted to step it up. And you'll see my plain card at the end. So, whoops, probably didn't need it that much. You'll understand why it doesn't really matter how this actually looks. If I had a glass mat, I would be putting it off the glass mat, but I don't want to put it on my paper. I think I need one more. So we'll go over to the 4 inches to do this. All right, then I'm just going to spin it around and do exactly the same so I get this in a square pattern. I'll just take it up here. As I said, you don't have to do this flash. Now, whilst I'm lining it up, that's just to give me some approximate spacing, because I do want some plain navy in the centre of this. This just adds that little bit of extra texture. So I've got way too many there, but that's okay. I can make a second card with the number there. Now, simple. It's just simple cutting. Wait a minute, I'll just turn this light on. I might be able to see my desk just a little better. Okay. So I'm going to cut this in 1 inch strips. I should have done it. Oh, I can still do it this way. They're probably about the same. So I'm just cutting this in 1 inch strips at the moment. another one of those cards. Every time it will turn out slightly different. Hi Lynette, how are you? Lynette and I normally talk about the weather. So I've got my 1-inch strips. Now I could cut these all at one time with this trimmer. Let's give it a go. I'm not sure this is my new trimmer. My really old trimmer is a little looser than this one. So let's see how we go. And the reason that you can... Oh, I don't want it that side. I'm not even going to do it. By the time I stuff around this, I will have zipped them. So one... I've got one spare somewhere on my table from the first card. What I'm trying to do is more regularly make some masculine cards for you, because as you know, I haven't been making many masculine cards up until now. And I think the men in our lives deserve nice cards as well. So has anyone got any favourites? I know there's a few demonstrators on here. Has anyone got any favourites for the new catalogue? It might give those who aren't demonstrators something to look forward to when they receive their catalogue from me. I think my favourite... Oh, I don't know. I mean, I like this plain one, but it's a masculine card. It's probably not my favourite, but it's getting there. I might be doing too many here, but we'll see. Not sure we can do too many. So all adding that shading means is it turns into a bit of a pillow. So you've got white around the edges. Now you could actually individually cut each of sponge each of the edges of these, but that would take a lot too long for me. I'm looking for a quick and easy way, and you can see that this was a quick and easy way. Now I've got a little bit left here. That might be enough, I think. I've got another one here if I need to cut it. Now the trick for this is what I'm about to show you. So this is my piece of cardstock. Now I've got, I can't find it on my desk, of course, what is called a self-centering ruler. Now I've got this one here, which is the one I normally use, but it's a little harder to see. But a self-centering ruler has a 0 in the center, and most of them have 6 inches to the right, 6 inches to the left. And I've got another one here that I actually found in my cupboard that I didn't even know I had. So again, it's got the 0 here, and you can see it starts kind of at 2, so that's your 1, 2. Now, so a self-centering ruler, I can move along so that I can put the 0 in the center, and I can tell from either end. I don't have to divide it into 2. I can just mark it. They're fairly easy. I can't even find my ruler, my pencil. Here, must have put it away. So I'm just going to put a little light mark there. And actually, I'm going to turn this over. Now, this piece is actually... Oh, I'm pretty sure it's 3 3/4. But so I'm going to mark it on the 0 here, turn it around, mark it on the 0. So I make sure the 2 marks on this side are equal. So for this one, it is actually 1 7/8. But your piece might be different. So now, and then I just rule very lightly down the center, and this one takes a little longer. I just want to rub up. I did this little mark there a little heavy. I'll rub it out just a bit. Now I form a foundation by going down that line. So if I have the bottom point and the top point on that line, it's going to be nice and what I would call square. Oh, thanks, Lynn. Good to see you. And hi, Myrtle. So I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back. So remember, one side I've added a little bit of colour. So I'm lining this up. I do want a little gap at the top, and I make sure both points are on that line I drew before. So we'll keep going. It doesn't take long, this is why, but I did only do one card. And I leave another little gap. I'll just grab my, pokey tool. So I've got a gap there and the same gap there. And I'll show you how big that is by putting a little closer. Always use for this part of the technique liquid glue, so you've got a little bit of room to wiggle. So you can see I've got a gap here and a gap there. So let's get going. Don't want this to take too long. Now I kept to what I would call basic masculine colours here. So I can slide it up. Now it's not going to fit. Gotta find it. Oh, here we go. I want this. Then it won't stick to my paper and ruin it. Now, you don't want too much glue here. So this will overlap here. That's okay. Doesn't have to. Now, I can actually see, and I don't know whether you'll be able to see, I can actually see the grid paper through here. I've moved this somehow. It's annoying. I've changed the angle of it tonight so I can get a little closer. So that's how it's going. I leave that overhang. So that's my base. Everything from there on just lines up with that base. And I keep that space going all the way through. So this is why I keep a nice, you can pick however you want to do this, how wide you want that gap between those squares. But you do want it to line up as best as possible. Now on my first one, I didn't get it, well, never gets perfect, but it wasn't as good as I had hoped. And so I distracted from it, and I'll show you how I did that. You can see once you get going, this is pretty quick. Now on this one, I am going to leave some little spaces, some little white spaces there. Just on the little ones. On my basic card, I haven't done that because I used bigger squares. I used 1.5 inches on that. And I want to just put that there. But let's keep going. I'll put that there. Let's see how we go. I'll show you again the original card in a second. Now I changed this side up. This is the original card, so if I turn that around, you can see we're getting close. Oh, I'm going to need some more. Gail says, looks great, but she has 2 crooked eyes. I think we all do sometimes when we're crafting. My eyes certainly aren't as good as they were. I'm even going to have to cut a couple more. I wasn't sure how many I'd need. And you're going to see how this kind of comes together in a second. You see how just that first line that you put down sets the whole thing up and keeps it nice and square. And you'll see how I kind of get that velvet finish on it. Now I've got one spare over here. Now I wasn't sure that I was going to add some of the blending this time. Now I've got another piece here, so I'll just cut a couple of those off, which will finish this off. Now I didn't want to cut, I could have cut these beforehand, but I didn't want to because I wanted you to see how this part was done. This is kind of like a fun card for me. I like doing something a little different, and whilst I've used it with a plain, you could add flowers to this, and as I said, you could use designer series paper. And the other thing is, I mean, I'm cutting what I would call tiles, but I can actually score one sheet and make them tiles. But this is actually a little easier than the scoring. So hopefully this is enough here now. There should be a big die to cut those squares. I agree with you there. But we're just about there. So I'm not going to do all these pieces. And then all I have to do is trim them off. I've got one more piece down here and that's it. As I said, you can do bigger squares. I just thought that maybe the 1 inch would work better, but I actually, if I was going to do this quickly, I would do 1.5 inch squares, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So I've just used the silicone mat, and you can see it didn't stick, and I've nearly done it. Now all I have to do is turn this over and trim it. Now I have a pair of large, hopefully sitting on my desk somewhere, large what I call my glue scissors, and I'm going to just trim along here. Now I turn it over so I can line it up with the white cardstock. Now they are a bit gluey, these. It's easier just to put glue on the whole navy square than trying to line it up perfectly. Now I don't want to cut into the white. If I got this crooked, I could trim it down with the trimmer to make it, to tidy it up. You can see this doesn't take very long. My other sample that I'm going to show you, I'm not going to show you how to do it because you will easily be able to work it out, is done in some of our new in colours. And I'll be interested in whether you think it makes it a masculine card or is it too feminine. So there we go, done. I'll turn this over and there it is. Now it still doesn't look as good as this one because this one I've embossed as well. You can now see. So you can see the difference. You can see where I've added the white blending, and while it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to be using the Metal Plate 3D embossing folder. And this one is actually a carryover, but it's in the new catalogue. So hi Julie, how are you? Julie says she always struggles with masculine cards, but this is perfect. I like this card. I like this design. Oops, sorry. Now you don't have to use this embossing folder. We've had lots of, I wouldn't use, for a masculine card, I wouldn't necessarily use a feminine floral image. But we have lots of others there. But this is probably my favourite. And the other thing really good about this, as you see, this goes on an angle, and my embossing folder pattern is on exactly the same angle. So it finishes off really nicely. So all I'm going to grab, I'm trying to do two things at once, is I'm grabbing my platform. So just so that's the, where are we? Yep, so that platform. And then, look, you may have a grey one, you may have a purple one. I'm not even sure which one actually comes with the cut and emboss machine, because one came with the Big Shot. So I'm just going to push this through. Now this will be tight because I've got an extra layer of paper. You'll hear a crack, creak, that's okay. But if it's starting, if it doesn't want to go through, don't force it, because you can, I mean, they're pretty hardy, but you can actually break them. So I'll show you what this now looks like. I love this look. So you can see just adding that embossing does two things. Kind of joins those two pieces of paper, so the basic white and the Night of Navy cardstock, so that they're kind of joined because of the pressure, and you get that beautiful pattern. And as you see, it actually follows my squares. Now, I also want to cut out, got to grab another layer. I also want to cut out using the Adventurous Sky dies. So this is what they look like. So I'm doing this in Real Red, Crumb Cake, and Basic White. And for this sandwich, I'm using the platform. I'm using the thin die number 2, thin die plate. And then I'm using the first of the acrylic plates. And I'll just lay that down. Mine are a little crooked tonight. I think that'll work. And hopefully you'll be able to see. Now I'm going to put all these through at one time, rather than putting it through 3 times. Hoping you can see this. I don't want any paper or dies overhanging the edge of the platform. Then I've got a white. I'll just put that there. I know the white is just off the screen at the moment. I'll just shift a couple of things, move that in, and now you can see it. So I'll grab my second plate. Now I'm not lining this up. I haven't got a stamped image, so it's pretty easy. Bring this back so I can actually push it through. Now, for those who have been watching me for a while know that you haven't seen me die cut, well, probably for well, actually it's coming up for 3 years, because I hurt my arm and shoulder. However, it's finally getting better, and I'm finding it really easy to cut through. So hopefully these are cut. I didn't check them. So this is my plain body. That doesn't sound right, but you know what I mean. My airplane body. Now, Stampin' Up dies have these little holes to poke out to make it easy. So that's what this one looks like. I'll throw that out. Hopefully I don't need it. This is I suppose the wings. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Now, we do have a brush that makes this easier, but this is not going to take me very long. So there's a few pieces that I'll just poke out, make it look a little finer. And comes with 2 propellers. Well, let's get rid of this so you can see what I'm doing. Comes with 2 propellers. But I'm only going to use one. Looks a bit strange with both. Now, these dies, I don't want to lose them, so I'm going to put them back on my magnetic sheet. Whoops. There goes the stamp set. And there's just a couple pieces left here. I'll poke them out. So next time I use them, there we go. I'll tidy this up later, but that way I shouldn't lose them. Now, where's my card base? It's back over here. So let's arrange this on here. Let's clean this. Now, this is really easy to line up because, see this little tail here? It lines up with this piece here, and the wheels line up, and the front lines up. So they're my, I always say, 3 points of, when you're layering something, 3 points of getting your alignment correctly. So I'll still grab some of this glue. Oh, I've got a bit I have to poke out there. So I'm just making sure where I'm gluing. Now, as this is a smaller piece, this is the part that I will glue. I won't glue the red piece because it may not line up. And I don't want to glue any of this because it's above the, pretty sure that lines up, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. So I'm lining up the wheel. I'm putting glue on the wheels. Not a lot because I don't want it to squish out. I have a habit of adding perhaps a smidgen too much glue. Just looking for my mat again, which is warped. Just can't find it. But anyway, we'll get this. So I line it up with the back because it's the easiest and clearest part. Line up those wheels and line up where the propeller sits. So use a cute plane. Then just adding a little bit of glue here. Now I do find that the propeller goes one way with that, so it fits one way. That's probably not it. Let's try around like that. That's better. So it does actually help you because it's where the propeller glues onto has a particular shape, so you can line it up. I'll keep this propeller for another day, and that will sit somewhere there. Now, I said before to you about if you don't get this perfect, you can kind of disguise it. Now, you know that this has moved. Hate this. Now I'm going to point out that the card's not perfect, but I'm doing that so you know how to fix things if things don't turn out perfectly for you. Now, I've got a gap down here that's bigger, slightly bigger than the others. And if I hadn't put the plane on top of it, you would notice it really clearly because you can see those lines. So I've added the plane. Now, this one, a bit of practice always helps, has made it so much easier. Now, I'm going to pop the plane up. Now, I may place this one in a different place because I only placed that right to the very edge so that I could disguise where the lines didn't line up. So we might put him up here, but I'm going to wait and hold off because I have a sentiment to add, which is I'm going to do the happy birthday again, and I'm doing it in Night of Navy. And I'm going to show you another little trick. Hopefully I can find the die. Of how to get this little flag the right size. Now, if I had have done I've just got to see this. If I had have done a slimline card and made it go sideways, so how gorgeous is that font? What would have happened is I could have had the plane actually carrying that behind like a flag, and I like that idea. But in this set comes, here it is, a sentiment die. And I want to show you how to make it a different size. So we'll get this out of the way for the moment. Clean up my desk because I'm going to bring my cut and emboss machine back again. Hopefully I can find all my plates. This time you're going to want to see what I'm doing. I'll get rid of a little bit here. So this is what I'm resting on. And again, this is moved. I'm trying to get it a little closer today. So it had to be a little looser to be able to drop. So here's my sentiment. So I'm just putting it there. This is my die, and it's so much bigger, and it would look ugly. So I'm going to line it up and pick one side that's in exactly the place where I want it. Now you can use some low-tack tape to hold this into place if you wish. I think that's right. It's a little hard for me to see when I can't line it up. Have I got, here's some low-tack tape. I've got some sitting on my light here. So I'll just put that down. That'll just hold it in place whilst I put this through. Hopefully I've got it lined up. As I said, I can't get my head over it. Now I'm going to put it through a second time and you'll see the difference, what it actually does. So I'll show you what this looks like. So you can see it's really quite big. I'll put it up there so you can see. Or hopefully you can see that. But I don't like that shape. So I'm bringing it back. Putting it through a second time. So I've got the flag this end. I just want to bring this back and line it up. Now, you can actually feel when it's actually back in the groove. It just slides straight in. So it doesn't have to, it's pretty easy to line up again. I think that's it. Bring back my tape, my low-tack tape, my top plate. Now, to be honest, I wouldn't do this too often, but I wanted to show you that you can do this because, we don't all have lots of dies. I'm lucky. I do have a lot of dies that I can, I can make fit. This just collapsed on me. I won't show you how this is holding up. You'd laugh at me. I had to find a stick that was the right size. So I've got something. I'm hoping. Let's see where we're at now. I know. Yep. Let's bring this back. So let's have a look at that. So now you can see it's the perfect size for what I'm looking for. So let's put this together. I'm hoping. Okay. Now I'm going to, where's my red piece? Here's my red, and I think, let me know what you think, whether you like this red layer as layer 1. Just looking for my adhesive. Here it is. Clean up my desk. Whether you actually like, and you can see that pattern on there. So that's what the back of the basic white looks like. Now, when you have a 3D embossing folder in particular, you do need to add a little bit more glue, and you need to get it to the edge because it's hard to glue down those edges on this. Whoops, don't want to do that though. The red makes it pop. Yeah, I wish I had put red on the first one. And sometimes you've got to see it before you get there. So it's then I'm going to pop this up because I do like popping up that top layer. But if you're posting it and you're worried about it, because Remember, this will have, I don't know where, wood scissors here somewhere. Anyway, I've got these here, so let's use these. But if you're posting it up, remember I'm going to pop up the plain as well. So I always use all these to the very edge. Well, I thought I cut those, but obviously I didn't. I can rip them as well. Obviously went to the wrong side. Now, put this together. I really enjoy this card. I'm sure the men would like to think they get as much time spent on their card as we spend on some of our feminine designs. I'm making sure I've got it up the right way. Whoops. I might have to just pull this back so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. My plane's sitting over here. Pop him up. Who else gets these white things everywhere through their house? I certainly do. Let's have a little play. I will put this one this time in the middle. I want to get those wheels nice and straight. That's just me. You might have a different idea. I'll pop him there. I'm going to use some of the mini dimensionals here to pop this up. You're going to laugh when you see the other card, because I do try and make it simple, but I'm not sure too many will make the other card. But it gives you a good idea of what you could do, but make it using supplies that you really like. So we're going to drop this down here. And I'm not going to put it all the way down there. I'm going to line it up with that line there. So there's the, whoop, that's a little crooked. Then on the inside, I do it really simple. So I've got, this takes like 2/6. Now, as you see, I moved this to the right, the sentiment, so I could fit the plane in, but the plane was flying the wrong direction. So this time, because I've actually done it, so this one says you're the best, plain and simple. It's very punny. So I'll put this over to the left just a little bit so I can fit that plane in. These fonts in this are gorgeous. I'll close this up. I'm doing the plane in red to match the front on the front plane. And then along the bottom, I'm using that background stamp that I showed you. This time it's in crumb cake. So there's no right or wrong in doing this like this. So I'm having it off. I'm not going to re-ink it, so I'm doing second generational. Then I'll go back and add a little bit of more texture. I know. So it just adds a little border without having to think too much. There's paper, designer series paper that actually matches this. Now I like it when if I put red on a second layer on the front of the card. I like doing the same on the inside. Just makes it look a little bit nicer, I think, and it gives it that same pop. I don't normally do it like I just did then, did I? Do I? I should have put the adhesive on the white. Don't do what I just did then. I wasn't paying attention. And this will go here. So what do you think of this card? Do you like it as a masculine card? Does it only go to like grandparents, husbands, or does it go to some young people in your family or friends? Who would you send it to? I don't know. So there we go. There's the... So you can see they both turned out about the same. Doesn't always happen. But I love this. It's got so much detail on it. Now, the simple card that I did is this one. Totally different colours. Let's straighten this up again. Totally different colours. This time I'm using some of the new in colours that will be released on 1 May. I'm using Shy Shamrock and Peach Pie. So I've kept it really simple for a masculine card, but they're bright colours. But I see men wearing these colours like Ralph Lauren, some of the designer labels come in these beautiful colours. And all I did was the stamp set on there is from the Loveliest tree. So it was a really simple, simple stamp. I kept it simple. Then on the inside, I did exactly the same. Now, to be honest, I had die cut another, I can't find it, but another plain, and I wish, I can't pick up that stamp set now. I can't find it on my desk, but I should have just done that rather than, that plain has flown away, rather than add those little leaf design, because the plain looked amazing. It was just white, stamped in black, was perfect. But I was looking for something else other than the plain from here. So that looks like a golf shirt pattern. And I think you're right, Madeline. It's kind of those colour combinations, and I think the colours go well together, but they're very bright. And certainly I'm not sure it would go for a country more older gentlemen. They may not like this, but I think the younger generation will love this style of card. So you have 2 cards to choose from, because I know I'm a little bit behind in sending out cards for the last couple of weeks. It's going to happen hopefully tomorrow. So which card would you like for your family, or would you like me to send you if you're the lucky person drawn? So the first card is the plain one. Sorry, plain as in Plane, or the leaf design in the bright colours. So let me know which one you like. Whilst I just do a quick wrap up. If you like these projects tonight, I'll straighten this up. It moves by itself, by osmosis. I'll pull that down just a bit. If you like the projects that I have done tonight and you would like to see more, like my Facebook page and you'll get notified when I go live. Or if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll keep up to date with all my new projects and all the news, gossip, techniques, tips and tricks. Now, I've only got a few more Facebook Lives to go before I go on holidays. See, I love Myrtle. She likes both of them. Now, Madeline likes the plain, but would be happy to receive the yellow, which for me, I've got to learn these colours, the peach pie one. And it does look a little peachy in real life. I have to say on my screen it looks yellowish as well. So most are liking the plain one, and it's probably my favourite as well. It's got a lot more work on it. This was really quick and easy to put together. And I just embossed the "To My Friend" and "Happy Birthday." So thanks, everybody. Really appreciate you dropping by today. And hopefully, let's straighten this up. I'll have fixed this camera by next week. And hope you have a fabulous week. Don't forget, the 9th of April, the last chance sale starts, and also my special birthday offer, which is host rewards. So for everybody who puts in an order with a host code on it, and I'll be posting the host code in the next couple of days, we'll share the host code. Now, it could be quite significant, the host code. So that means that you order products to that value, which is pretty exciting. But I've got to do it or get it all tidied up before I head away later this month. So thanks, everybody. And thank you, Madeline, for my birthday wishes. Love you all.